Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into some of the most unbelievable things that have happened right in people's backyards. We're talking meteorites, buried treasure chests, and even exotic animals just chilling in suburbia. So buckle up, smash that like button, and get ready to have your minds blown. We're kicking things off with the story of the Thompson family from Arizona. Picture this. It's a sunny afternoon and little Timmy Thompson is out playing catch with his dad. Suddenly they hear a deafening boom. They look up and see a trail of smoke across the sky. A meteorite just crash-landed in their backyard. The Thompsons were completely shocked. They called in some experts, and it turns out this rare meteorite was worth a small fortune. The Thompsons sold it to a museum and went on the vacation of a lifetime. Next up, we're headed to sunny California, where one woman's gardening hobby led to the discovery of a lifetime. Meet Maria Sanchez, an avid gardener. One afternoon, as Maria was digging a new hole for a rose bush, her shovel hit something hard. As she dug deeper, she realized it was a wooden chest. Her heart started racing as she pried it open. Inside, she found piles of gold coins, sparkling jewels, and ancient artifacts. Maria called in historians and archaeologists who determined the treasure likely belonged to a wealthy merchant from the 1800s. The treasure was worth millions, and Maria decided to donate a portion of it to a local museum. Get ready for this one, because you are not going to believe it. We're talking about a family in Ohio who had a very unexpected visitor in their backyard, a full-grown Bengal tiger. Imagine looking out your window and seeing a massive tiger. Their dog, Sparky, started barking like crazy in the middle of the night. They went to check what was going on and couldn't believe their eyes. There, lounging by their pool, was a Bengal tiger, just chilling like it owned the place. They called 911 immediately and animal control officers arrived completely baffled. It turns out the tiger had escaped from a nearby exotic animal sanctuary during a storm. Thankfully, they were able to safely tranquilize the tiger and return it to the sanctuary. Our next story takes us to England, where a man named John made an incredible discovery while working on his garden. One afternoon, as he was tilling his garden, he unearthed a small, round object. Brushing off the dirt, he realized it was an ancient Roman coin. He kept digging and found dozens more coins, all dating back to the Roman Empire. John called in local archaeologists who were amazed by his discovery. They determined that the coins were over 2,000 years old and had likely been buried there since the Roman occupation of Britain. John's discovery made headlines across the country, and he became a local celebrity. Our next story is like something straight out of a spy movie. We're talking about a family in Oregon who discovered a secret underground bunker in their backyard. The Johnson family had just moved into their new home, a charming old farmhouse with a sprawling backyard. They were excited about the new chapter in their lives and the adventures that awaited them. One day while the kids were playing, they noticed something strange, a small metal door hidden beneath some overgrown bushes. It was almost like a scene from a treasure hunt. Curious, they called their parents, who were just as puzzled. The family gathered around the mysterious door, their minds racing with possibilities. They pried open the door and discovered a set of concrete stairs leading down into the darkness. The air was thick with anticipation as they wondered what lay beneath their feet. Grabbing a flashlight, they cautiously descended the stairs. Each step echoed in the confined space, heightening their sense of adventure and mystery. At the bottom, they found themselves in a long, narrow corridor. The walls were lined with old, dusty shelves and the air was cool and damp. As they ventured deeper, they discovered a series of rooms, stocked with supplies, furniture, and even a working radio. It was like stepping back in time. It was a fully functional underground bunker. The family was amazed at the level of detail and the effort that had gone into creating this hidden refuge. The Johnsons later learned that their home had once been owned by a wealthy businessman who was paranoid about the Cold War. He had built the bunker as a safe haven in case of a nuclear attack. This next story is a reminder that incredible discoveries can be found in the most unexpected places, like in the middle of a concrete jungle. Amidst the hustle and bustle of city life, it's easy to overlook the small wonders around us. We're talking about a woman named Emily, who lived in a small apartment in New York City. Despite the limited space, she found joy in nurturing her little green sanctuary. Emily had always loved plants, and her apartment was filled with them. She had a knack for making even the smallest spaces bloom with life. But with limited space, she could only keep a few small pots on her fire escape. It was her little urban garden, a slice of nature amidst the concrete. One day, she noticed something unusual sprouting up from a crack in the concrete. It was a tiny green shoot, barely noticeable at first. At first, she thought it was just a weed, something that would soon be plucked out and discarded. But as it grew, she realized it was something much more special. The plant began to take on a unique form, unlike anything she had seen before. The plant had delicate, white flowers that resembled orchids, with petals so fine and intricate they seemed almost otherworldly. But she had never seen anything like it before. It was a mystery, a beautiful enigma growing right there on her fire escape. Curious, she showed a picture to a botanist friend, who was stunned. He couldn't believe his eyes. He identified it as a rare species of orchid that was thought to be extinct in the wild. This was an extraordinary find, something botanists dream of. Emily's fire escape had become a haven for this incredibly rare and beautiful plant. It was a testament to the resilience of nature and the surprises it holds. Hold on to your tinfoil hats, because we're about to dive into the world of UFO sightings. This story comes from a small town in Nevada, where a group of friends witnessed something truly out of this world. It was a warm summer night, and the friends were having a bonfire in their backyard, sharing stories and gazing at the stars. Suddenly, one of them spotted something strange in the sky. A bright glowing object was hovering above them, silently moving across the night sky. At first, they thought it was a plane, but it was moving too erratically and making no sound. As they watched in awe, the object began to change colors, flashing from red to green to blue. Then, just as quickly as it had appeared, it shot off into the distance and vanished. The friends were speechless. Their story quickly spread, and soon their town became a hotbed for UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. Who needs to book a trip to a fancy spa when you can have your own personal hot spring right in your backyard? That's exactly what happened to a family in Iceland. Iceland is known for its geothermal activity, but no one expected to find a natural hot spring bubbling up in their backyard. The Olsen family had always loved their home, but their lives were about to get a whole lot more relaxing. One morning, while Mr. Olsen was mowing the lawn, he noticed a strange spot in the grass. The ground felt unusually warm, and steam was rising from the earth. Curious, he called a geologist who confirmed that it was a small natural hot spring. The Olsens were ecstatic. They hired a contractor to build them a beautiful stone pool around the spring, creating their own private oasis. Get ready for a heartwarming story that proves the bond between humans and animals can be truly unbreakable. This tale will take you on an emotional roller coaster, showcasing the resilience and determination of a beloved pet and the unwavering hope of a family. This is the story of Buddy, a golden retriever who went missing from his home in Colorado. Buddy was more than just a pet. He was a cherished member of the family, always bringing joy and comfort to everyone around him. Buddy's family was devastated when he disappeared from their backyard one afternoon. The once lively home was now filled with an overwhelming sense of loss and worry. They searched everywhere, put up posters, and even hired a pet detective, but there was no sign of their beloved dog. Every day without Buddy felt like an eternity, and the family was growing more desperate with each passing moment. Weeks turned into months, and the family began to lose hope. The days dragged on, and the absence of Buddy left a void that nothing could fill. They missed Buddy terribly, but they never gave up believing that he would find his way home. Their love for Buddy kept their spirits alive, and they held on to the hope that one day, they would be reunited. Then, one ordinary afternoon, a miracle happened. It was a moment that the family had dreamed of, but hardly dared to believe would come true. As the family was having dinner, they heard a familiar bark coming from the backyard. Their hearts raced as they rushed outside to see if it could really be him. They rushed outside, and there, wagging his tail excitedly, was Buddy. The joy and relief they felt in that moment were beyond words. He was a little thinner and dirtier than they remembered, but he was home. Buddy's return was nothing short of a miracle, and the family couldn't have been happier. It turns out that Buddy had been picked up by a kind truck driver who had found him wandering by the side of the road hundreds of miles away. The driver had taken care of Buddy and eventually brought him back to his family, completing this incredible journey. Our final story takes us to the wilds of Alaska, where close encounters with wildlife are just a part of everyday life. But even Alaskans were surprised by what happened in one woman's backyard. Sarah, who lived in a remote cabin, enjoyed watching the birds that visited her feeders. One morning, she glanced out her window and noticed something unexpected. A massive brown bear was casually helping itself to her birdseed. The bear had climbed up onto her deck and was happily munching away on the sunflower seeds, completely unfazed by her presence inside. Sarah grabbed her camera and started filming, capturing the incredible encounter. Sarah's video went viral, reminding everyone that in Alaska, you never know what you might find in your backyard. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these incredible backyard stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more amazing content. Which story was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, you never know what you might find right outside your back door.